All right, good afternoon, true believers. I am back. This is John Krupa, the freedom to draw unsolved mysteries. And we have a final appeal case here. It's from the late 2000s, 2017. This is the case of Kirsten Lobato and her final appeal. And she was wrongfully incarcerated for 17 years. She got exonerated. We're going to tell you a little bit about her case and how she got exonerated on this episode of the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries. Guys, join me in this case as we take a look at the justice system and how it fails people as well as helps people. Guys, we're going to draw this innocent lady who was put away for 18 years. We're going to tell you about her story and draw her at the same time. It is National Computer Security Day. So we got some computer type music on in the background. As we're drawing her, we're going to tell you about how she got wrongfully convicted on this final appeal episode of Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries. Kirsten Blaze Lobato was just 18 years old when she was charged with the 2001 murder of Duran Bailey, a homeless man in Las Vegas. She was tried twice for the crime and always maintained her innocence. On December 29th, 2017, upon a motion by the Clark County District Attorney's Office, Clark County District Court's Honorable Chief Judge Elizabeth Gonzalez dismissed all charges against Kirsten Blaze Lobato and ordered her to be released from prison. December 19th, 2017, Clark County District Court Judge Stephanie Miley had reversed Lobato's murder conviction after a 5-day hearing in October. The court had found that Lobato's defense lawyers violated her constitutional right to effective legal representation by failing to call pathology and entomology experts in regarding the victim's time of death, which would have supported her strong alibi. Lobato has served nearly 16 years in prison despite compelling evidence of her innocence. Yeah, and if they got the time of death right, then it would have put her not in the area, not even close to the area at the time of the murder of this African American man. Lobato was just 18 years old when charged with this brutal 2001 murder of Duran Bailey, a homeless man that lived in Las Vegas. Lobato, who was tried twice for the crime, has always maintained her innocence. Bailey's body had been found around 10 p.m. on July 8th, 2001. next to a dumpster in a parking lot of a bank building. He had been brutalized. His eyes were swollen shut, his skull cracked. Several of his teeth had been knocked out of his mouth. His carotid artery was cut and his member was removed. When I say member, I'm talking about the male part of the body that you pee from. Yes, his penis was removed. Lobato grew up in Panaca, Nevada, a small town 3 hours north of Las Vegas. That's important. In late May 2001, 2 months before Bailey was killed, Lobato was visiting friends in Las Vegas when she was attacked in a motel parking lot by a man who attempted to rape her. Carrying a small knife given to her by her father for protection, Lobato slashed at the man's groin area and escaped his grasp. When she drove off, she saw the man on the ground, mobile and apparently crying. In the coming days and weeks, Lobato described this attack to numerous people, making clear that it occurred before July 2001, and stating that she believed she may have cut the man in the groin area before running off to safety. Now at this point, that guy that got his member cut off was alive, and she may have been attacked by the same guy, because the Innocent Project neglects to mention that she was high on methamphetamine at the time, and that makes you a little bit aggressive, you know. And this guy that got murdered was a known drug dealer, so it would make sense that they were near each other and talking to each other. They knew each other, most likely. And she did slash at his groin area. That's all authorities needed to hear, though, to pin this murder on her. On July 20th, 2001, nearly 2 weeks after Bailey's murder, Las Vegas Metro Police Department detectives received a phone call from a Panaca resident who had heard from another Panaca resident that Lobato had told her that she had cut off a man's member in Las Vegas. Based on that attenuated story alone, detectives immediately drove the 3 hours to Panaca from Las Vegas. Upon arriving at Lobato's family home, the detectives told Lobato that they knew she had recently been attacked. A bit of trickery on the detectives' case here. They led her to believe that they were coming to talk about the attack, and they led her to believe that they were going to get the man that attacked her. So she told them everything that she knew. Trickery on the police department. Shame on them. Shame on them. Even though she was a drug dealer, she was innocent of this crime. As we listen to some computer music in the background, this is Computer Security Day, National Computer Security Day. The police recorded a statement in which Lobato described the attempted rape in late May, stating that it had happened at least a month ago, clearly describing a motel parking lot as the location and not a dumpster and describing a man who was mobile and alive when she left and not beaten to death, as was Bailey. Under the mistaken belief that police were informing her that the man who tried to rape her had died, she expressed remorse and made other comments that detectives took as confession for Bailey's murder, even though the event Lobato described was glaringly at odds with the basic facts of the killing. So she never confessed to this crime, and she still got locked up for almost 17 years. Now, as an American, that scares me, and it should scare you too. Armed with only the statement that detectives arrested Lobato for Bailey's murder, the police did not investigate clear alternative perpetrators with the motive and means to so violently kill Bailey. On July 1st, 2001, 1 week before he was found dead, Bailey assaulted, raped a woman who lived in an apartment building next to a bank where his body would be found. Bailey threatened to kill the woman if she told anyone, but she eventually reported the attack to the police on July 5th, 2001, just 3 days before Bailey was killed. She also told a number of her male neighbors who had an ongoing dispute with Bailey about the attack, despite the woman's prior contact with the victim, as well as her male friends' motive to retaliate against Bailey. The police prematurely dismissed these potential subjects. And when they came out to talk to Lobato, she had made some off-color comments stating that she stabbed at his groin, and if she did hit him in a bad spot that caused him damage, she stated that she didn't think anyone would miss him. This was all before she knew that they were there to pin a murder on her. They never did find out who really did this crime. But DNA cleared Lobato, but they never found the real perpetrator of this crime. It still remains a mystery of who killed this man. Might have been a scorned ex-person that he raped. Might have been a lover of a person that he raped. There is so many scenarios that this man, way he could have met his final demise. Instead, the police focused solely on Lobato, a teenager with no connection to Bailey and no motive to harm him. Now, that's not entirely true, because they did both do drugs. And they thought maybe that she was trying to score drugs off of him. But you will see that evidence was not very strong against this girl. At trial, the prosecution railed primarily on Lobato's statement to detectives, which they characterized as a confession, as there was no physical or forensic evidence linking Lobato to this crime. The defense presented numerous family members and neighbors who testified that Lobato was actually in Panaca on July 8, 2001. The prosecution even conceded in summation that Lobato was in Panaca at 11:30 a.m. on July 8th. However, the prosecution relied heavily on their medical examiner's time of death estimation to undermine Lobato's alibi defense. The medical examiner estimated that Bailey died upon up to 24 hours before he was pronounced dead at 3:50 a.m. on July 9th, meaning at approximately 4 a.m. on July 8th. The state argued that this put Bailey's death at a time when Lobato was not accounted for, and her alibi witnesses didn't account for that either, and the jury convicted her. That is pretty scary, folks. That you don't even have to be in the area where it happens to get convicted of it. They can somehow circumnavigate that you weren't in the area, still send you away. That's very scary to me. Got computer music going on in the background here. It is National Computer Security Day. At the October 17th hearing, Lobato presented the testimony of 3 forensic entomologists or insect scientists, all of whom concluded that based on the weather conditions in Las Vegas on July 8, 2001, and based on the outdoor location where Bailey's body was found, one would expect to see his body teeming with blowfly eggs within a short period of time after his death. Blowflies arrive very shortly after death and lay hundreds of easily observable eggs in a freshly dead body's orifices and wounds. That's pretty nasty. Given that Bailey's body had no blowfly eggs on it, each of the forensic entomologists independently concluded that he had to have died close in the time to when his body was discovered around 10 p.m. on July 8th, during which time, as conceded even by the prosecution, Lobato was 3 hours away with her family in Panaca. A forensic pathologist also independently concluded that based on the recorded rigor mortis changes in Bailey's body between the time when his body was discovered and when his autopsy was conducted, he likely died during the early evening hours of July 8th. Based on this compelling scientific evidence, which could have been presented at Lobato's original trial, and which would have likely changed the jury's outcome, Judge Miley granted Lobato's habeas corpus petition and vacated her convictions. Lobato was represented by Barry Scheck, who is a good lawyer. He's one of the good lawyers, guys. Remember that name, Barry Scheck. He's with the Innocence Project. Now, he does make profit off of this, but he's doing his lawyer work for good causes. Vanessa Potkin, Adan Salton, and Jane Poocher of the Innocent Project, as well as by local counsel David Chestoff and Robert DeMarco of the Chestoff and Schoenfield. Her time served was 16 years, guys. That does it for this case. They never found who killed the homeless guy, but I don't think they really care because he was not an upstanding citizen, if you know what I mean. But that's a mystery who actually did kill the guy. Yes, this is a lawyer. These are lawyers that actually do good for people. Barry Scheck of the Innocence Project. Good lawyers, guys. Do something good for somebody today. It makes you feel better, and it makes the person you did it for feel better, guys. This is John Krupa. Freedom to draw unsolved mysteries. True believers. Peace out.